Go again to try to slow down Tristan Thompson on the glass with a double-double. And it's safe to say role players play better at home. Kyle Korver comes off the bench with the flamethrower with 14 huge points. The question remains now, how do you take this on the road? Game 5 in Boston.
The biggest key for us is we're getting better looks. In games 1 and 2, is the ball wasn't moving the way it needed to. We didn't have good body movement, good ball movement. We weren't setting a lot of screens. We were kind of just relying on Braun. And there just wasn't a lot there for us because we were just really stagnant.
Kyle's just a pro's pro, man. He does everything right every night. He gives it 100% effort every single night. And tonight having 3 blocks, he had a couple of strips. And, I mean, just can't say enough about him. And he's 37 now? Yeah. God, dang. And we playing him too many minutes. We need him, though.
Being at home is supposed to matter. It's supposed to matter. And it does there. We know we're going to get their best shot. Young guys will be fine. We'll be ready. We got the best player in the world, and it'll be a big one.
We don't know what we're going to see in Game 5. I mean, only the game guys know that. We know their fans are going to be very energetic. But, we have to just have our same mindset as we had when we came off of these 2 games. And, if our mind is there, then, we put ourselves in a position to be victorious.
Best 2 out of 3 to go to the NBA Finals. Doesn't get better than that. It's a blast to have to grit your teeth, get up off the mat, and go after it again. That's part of it. That's part of what makes these guys on both sides special. It's part of what makes the Western Conference team special. They're able to do it. They're able to block out everything that doesn't matter and go compete. And that's what we'll go do.
For the first time in the conference finals round, a game was finally decided by single digits on Monday night, but the Cavs were never really in danger on their home floor as LeBron had his 6th 40-point night of the postseason already. He's now scoring 4 more points a game than anybody left in the playoffs. Zeke, moving ahead here for Boston. Better strategy for them to try to slow down the King as a scorer or do everything possible to limit his teammates?
I think you got to stop King. I mean, you got to find a way to stop LeBron James. And, and I can just go from experience. We went through this, for a very short period of time with Michael Jordan. We said, hey, you know what? We're just going to let him score and shut down everybody else, and one man can't beat you. Well, guess what? We found out that one man can beat you. And right now, they have to find a way to stop LeBron James from having his imprint all over the game. Like right now for this series, he's averaging 32 points, 7 rebounds, and 9 assists. And Matt, as we just discussed before we came on, you said he got an easy 44. It didn't look like it. It
didn't feel like it.
Just kind of happened, right?
Yeah.
So we know he hasn't had that explosive performance like Steph Curry had the other night. So, I'm expecting that in this next game, if they don't find a way to turn the faucet off, that's called LeBron James, the Celtics can be looking at a big problem here.
You need like industrial strength plumbing equipment to turn that faucet off, I think.
You got to do something different. You just can't let him hunt and find Rozier and pick him out. You got to find a way to change your defensive strategy, because after game 1, what he said is, okay, I figured out what the Celtics are trying to do to me. Mm-hmm. So now I'm going to put my imprint on the game. And it doesn't seem like the Celtics have changed their defensive strategy, and he's figured out how to put himself into the game and also pick their defense apart.
Tristan Thompson has become a big part of the Cavaliers' strategy as well. Ty Lue is basically trying to match him up against Al Horford whenever he's on the floor. You'll see the substitutions mirror each other. How big of a factor has he become for the final 3 games potentially of this series?
Well, I think it's really significant. And it's not just Tristan. It's playing 2 bigs together all the time. Love and Nance can do this as well. Nance and Tristan less so, I think, because offensively that's a tough pairing. But they have to keep 2 bigs on the court because, and we'll see here some of what happens with Tristan. Okay, pause this right here if you would. So right now he's going to be on an island with Marcus Smart. And he is so good in space defensively that he enables everybody else to sort of stay with theirs. Mm-hmm. Like you were talking about, Isaiah, with what they're trying to do with LeBron, is let everybody else not beat them.
Yep.
Well, because you have this man, go ahead, run it. Because you have this guy on the ball on Marcus Smart, everyone can stay home. and he doesn't put the defense in position to have to rotate, to have to do anything to help him. It's a really important thing. Here you see, again, the importance of the two bigs on the court. Watch Larry Nance on this possession. He's going to be highlighted in red here. They're going to dig. The Cavs are flying everywhere right now. These are what I like to call sins of commission. They've got two guys flying to one guy, but they're recovering and they're everywhere, and that's what Nance gives them as well. Tristan brings that. Here you see Tristan's impact offensively, and this is really significant. Hunting out the mismatch, stop it. So now you see Tristan has dove. He takes Horford with him into the paint. Now they're going to have a free look at Kevin Love. In the first game, there wasn't this free look at Kevin Love because Tristan Thompson wasn't there to dive. Al is going to pay so much attention to the dive. Go ahead, run this. It opens up the swing, and a wide open three. That only happens because of the presence of Tristan Thompson. So when Cleveland's playing really well, and for whatever reason, you can see these guys here have been incredibly good against Al Horford, even going back to his time in Atlanta. When this team's playing really, really well, these two guys are wreaking havoc on the defense, and in large part it's because Kevin gives them the spacing element, and Tristan gives them the energy and the defensive element. And his ability to switch and his ability to be left on an island with a guard was a huge part of our success against Golden State when they would play small as well. They've got to have this kid stay on the court.
And Thompson, who's been, well, not a mystery, he's been not in great shape. He was hurt earlier in the year, is back and ready and going at full bore at just the right time for the Cavaliers. Let's take a look at tonight's upcoming schedule presented by Jeep. These finals go every other day with a potential Game 7 on Sunday. Game 5 tips Wednesday night in Boston, where the Celtics are 9-0 this postseason.
Of the game. LeBron had 7 turnovers, but it was quite all right, no question. A week ago, many wondered if the Cavs were going to get swept. Now, it's a best-of-3 series. LeBron goes for 44 and is just 2 wins away from his 8th straight trip to the NBA Finals. Boston road woes continued, now 1-6 away from home during the 2018 NBA playoffs. And by losing Monday, the Celtics guaranteed they'll have to make a return trip to the Q for Game 6, which means more of LeBron.
Work, in between days and trying to work on my game to where you can't force me to do something I don't want to do, or I don't have, too much of a weakness. I work on every aspect of my game, and but more importantly, my teammates are putting me in position and wanting me to be in attack mode and trust me to be to put our guys in position to be successful. So, it's not about me. It's about the collective group, and I'm one of the byproducts of that.
He's a leader. He's a captain of our team. When he's coming out, not just offensively firing, but defensively, taking the challenge and making it tough for Brown. We all feed off his energy. So, when your captain's doing it on both ends and on the offensive end, he's doing this thing, and defensively he's taking the challenge and multiple efforts and giving it his all. We got to look at ourselves and say, hey, we got to fall behind. There's no excuse for us.
We just keep learning. We haven't been in these type of positions before, and playing on the road. I was telling the guys they have a better feel, especially in the playoffs. It's much harder. We have to be better. We have to execute better. We have to do all those things in order to win. It's hard to win on the road.
It's the best 2 out of 3 to go to the NBA Finals. Can get better than that. I mean, ultimately, anybody that didn't think this was going to be tough, everything is tough. And, in this deal, it's a blast to have to grit your teeth, get up off the mat, and go after it again.
What Brad Stevens considers to be fun is not fun for most. Another night, yet another LeBron milestone, passing Kareem for the most field goals made in NBA playoff history. Now get this, 14 times during the 2018 playoffs, a player has scored 40 points or more. LeBron is responsible for 6 of those 14 as he notched his 6th 40-point game of the playoffs in Game 4.
Never in my lifetime did I think that I would see somebody pass a Kareem Abdul-Jabbar scoring stat. And let's talk about how he did it tonight. You know, when you look at LeBron, you know, what they did is successfully they were able to find the mismatches. Whenever he found a mismatch, they were hunting out Rozier tonight. Got a size advantage, 6'8" against 6'1". They tried to switch back to Horford too late. He gets a shot on the baseline. Again, Boston switching defense. LeBron finds the mismatch. He hunts it out. Now he takes him down to the paint. 1, 2, 3, layup. This is what Boston has to figure out. LeBron has figured out their defense, and he's constantly searching out Rozier. Okay, you'll see Hill come and set another screen. Rozier tries not to switch. They get confused on the switch. LeBron say, nobody's guarding me. Okay, I'll knock down the 3. So he gives them the 3. They're hunting out Rozier, just as we talked about with Golden State and Houston. They're hunting out that weak link. Not that Rozier is a weak defensive player, but LeBron is 6'8", 260, 270. Rozier 6'1", 6'2". They're hunting out that matchup, and he's taking advantage of it.
Yeah, you look at what the Celtics were trying to accomplish in Game 4, and they did a lot of it. They limited the Cavs' threes. They forced more turnovers in Game 4. And Boston outscored Cleveland by 7 over the final 3 quarters. But, Smitty, even with all that, when you fall behind by 19, it's too much to overcome.
It is, Barrett. You said it best. They've done a good job, like you said. I like that this young group, Isaiah and Jared, they keep competing. Obviously down huge by 19 to the Cleveland Cavaliers. Some younger teams would, I would say, folded. This team won't. They'll come out and play hard. But to win this series, they got to find a way to get off to a better start. And I think they'll do that in Boston, especially in Game 5.
You know, we talked so much and heaped so much praise on Brad Stevens, rightfully so, for what he's done with this group. But he's been known to tinker and make the right adjustments. So far, I mean, Ty Lue's the one that's made some incredible adjustments. And Tristan Thompson, you see, you know, what he's done to disrupt what Boston had over the first 2 games.
You know, that's an excellent point, Jared. And you know, when you talk about Ty Lue, you know, you look at LeBron James, and what LeBron James has consistently said in all his press conferences, experience is the best teacher. And what Ty Lue has is experience. They have championship experience in terms of being up and down in playoff situations. Ty Lue is still figuring out this team. Remember, this is a team that he just joined, you know, right before the playoffs started because of his illness. So they're figuring each other out during the course of the playoffs. And as you can see, each game they're continuing to get better and better, just as they did in the Indiana series, in the Toronto series, and now here in the Celtics series.
We'll talk much more about the Celtics and the Cavs. Look ahead to Game 5 back in Boston coming up next. Steph Curry put on a show in Game 3, but will the Warriors starting lineup have a different look in Game 4?